Hey everybody, I'm doing this quick video about errors I have made and errors that and products that I would never sell, or one in particular. First thing is we'll go over the product I would never sell. And I've never touched these, and that is anything that's glass. And people do very well selling products that are glass. So generally speaking, I think of grocery items that are good, and they must be boxed and bubble wrapped. I've never touched them because it's such a mess. And like I said, many of these things like hazmat or selling glass bottles can be very profitable because most Amazon sellers just put that in the too hard bucket. And, there's so many great products, so you don't really have to mess with that. But many people do sell glass successfully. And like I said, I think so. Most things that are bubble wrapped or glass like that, they have to be boxed. And this is also just input if you're doing these things, or collectible toys, things like that, that need to be bubble wrapped. Certain Lego sets need bubble wrapped. You have to bubble wrap them or box them, and then they have to survive a 4-foot drop on every side of the box. And again, this gets into the just too hard bucket. I'm certain there are items out there that are profitable. I found a couple where it was like really close, but then I was just like, man, this just gets into the too hard bucket. And you have to obviously account for all the boxes you're going to need to box it, all the bubble wrap, all those types of things. So, it would have to be very profitable to do that much time and to put that much time into it. Are there products out there like that? I'm certain there are. Or am I going to waste my time on that if I can find something easier? I'm not. So the next one is mistakes I have made. And this is even more recently. And this is something, improper estimating of how many sales I'm going to get. So I bought either too much of an inventory or too little. Buying too little can be really annoying because you're missing out on sales and you have a very fast selling item. But buying too many of an item can be a serious problem. Buying too little, you missed out on possible sales. Buying too many, now you're stuck with possibly unprofitable inventory, or you're selling at break even, you have all this cash tied up in it. So it's really important to understand how to estimate those types of sales. And you can do that a couple different ways, but there's a couple different ways you can calculate how many sales there are a month. And if it's just a flat listing, you can divide that by the number of sellers. Now, if you see a spike in sellers or a drop in sellers, you would adjust that. You would adjust how many sales you could get. So if there's 10 sellers, it's 100 a month. You can estimate if you're matching the buy box, you would get 10 sales. Now remember, not all sellers would be in the same price range. So if the buy box is $20 and you have 3 sellers that are in the $30 range, you can kind of mark those out. So maybe you're marking it, maybe you're dividing it by 7 now. There's lots of videos on how to do that. It's definitely more of an art than a science. Like, you're going to use some math and skills, but in the end, it's always just a educated guess. So the next one is keeping track of returns. This is extremely important in the apparel category where you get a lot of returns, and most or some can be resold as new because they got them, they took them out, they looked at them and said they didn't even try it on. They said either maybe they bought a $150 pair of shoes that they couldn't afford. This happens, they ship it back. Maybe they took it out of the box and said, I meant to order an extra small, I ordered a small. I meant to order a large, I got an extra large. I can look at it, they take it out, they don't take the tags off. They hold it up to them, and they put it right back. This is really common, like really common. And or they bought it as a gift, or they didn't like the style. Just imagine all the reasons people shop for clothing and don't like a garment. So you need to keep track of those returns, because even if a box, like a shoe box, is destroyed, even if, and I've been very annoyed lately, I've gotten shoes that look like they were worn for a week and then returned, and they have dirt on them, they have all these things. I attempt to clean them and sell them on eBay or something like that, but it can be very frustrating. So you have to keep track of those, because even if you paid $100 for them and you can at least get back 50 or 75. You don't want that just sitting around. And sometimes it can be really annoying because you have to list them on eBay, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. You have to list them and deal with all that, but you certainly just don't want them sitting there and you're losing out on that $50 or whatever you can gain back. Sometimes you can gain it all back. Like I said, sometimes they're completely new, but if they're used, they still have some value. Or you can always donate them and collect those receipts to hand to your accountant at the end of the year. The other one is underestimating returns. So if this is, you don't have to worry about this in consumables, but if you're in the garment, people like garments because if they have $10,000 to spend a month, they can find shoes and spend, $500 on a couple pairs. They can go through these spend goals very quickly, and it can be super profitable. It can be super, super profitable, especially with these large clearance sales going on right now. $50 shirts for $4, things like that. So it can be super profitable, but you have to calculate in the returns. And sometimes, you get sent damaged items. Sometimes you get home from the store and you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't notice a hole in it. You have to return it to the store. And again, there's lots of videos on how to estimate the type of returns, but I think they even have like some lists. And one of the things is men's clothing is returned a lot less. So women's clothing is returned more. And as you can imagine, women's personal garments, tight-fitting yoga pants, if those don't fit perfectly, women don't like them and they return them. So men's shoes, like I'm a 9 on Adidas, I wear Adidas. If I get a 9 on any Adidas shoe, it almost always fits. So, but women's shoes get returned more. Again, this is, I guess, statistically. And, a woman's t-shirt would be returned in theory yet less than a woman's bra or yoga pants or things like that have to be form-fitting. Supposedly, the tight workout shorts are returned extremely high. That's one of the highest return rates that I've heard people talk about, and it makes sense because if they don't fit perfect, people aren't going to wear them. Or if it's men's knee board shorts, if it's not to your liking, it's a little long or a little too short, you probably are just going to keep them and not deal with the return, and that makes sense. So those are the things you really got to watch for. You have to estimate. A lot of this goes with just keeping track of your numbers, keeping track, and not letting, even if you're not on this stuff every single day, that's not going to be it. But you need to have that, that maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks to check in. Okay, is my return pile piling up? Am I seeing my returns? Am I getting a lot of emails about returns? Maybe, I'm gonna not buy this product anymore. It has very high returns. Maybe this product has really low returns. So, and you have inventory lab. I guess there's a seller board I'm thinking about getting. It keeps, it's very good at keeping track of things. I guess more metrics than inventory lab. But hey, that's all I have for today. If I think about anything else, I'll let you know. 2024 is going to be the best year ever. Keep hustling. See ya.